That first time did not count.
Fuck yeah, dude. Give those kids some smooches.
Hello, welcome in everybody. It's the Exp Talk Show with Stephen Lee. You guys know what's up. I'm nervous. Can you tell I'm nervous?
You're not, like, we talked about this already right before the show. Like, I don't know why you're nervous, dude.
I know, I've done it a million times, but I also haven't done this
literally
in 2
a million
weeks.
times. 2 weeks is nothing, dude.
It's so
You know?
fast. 2 weeks went by real quick, and then it slowed down.
It can.
This last half of the week.
But I think, you know, you got to look deep inside yourself. Be like, I know the people that I'm talking with. You know,
right? Yeah.
These are all just the homies, man. Like
Just the
everyone,
homies.
everyone's chill. And if we get new people in it, then we'll just focus more on the homies that we know will be here and hanging out with us, and then we'll use that comfortability, right, to then draw in the new people that come in, right?
Makes sense to me.
Think about it, bro.
I'm thinking about it. It's still blowing my mind.
You just need that Neuralink, and then you just need to download a bunch of confidence somewhere.
Yeah, I know Kung Fu.
I know Kung Fu. That's a little teaser for the stuff we're going to talk about today. But
welcome in, everybody.
Yeah.
This is the XP Talk Show. It's been a couple weeks since we've done it. Lee will be taking the helm primarily for this episode with all the topics that he had picked and is very invested in. I myself got to dive a little bit into one of the topics, but I don't know much about the other two we're going to be discussing. So that's exciting. But if this is your first time here, welcome in. We do this show, or try to do this show, every week. We're doing 2 XP Talk shows this week, just as a heads up. This one with Lee, and tomorrow we will be talking with Luxy Games. If you guys don't know who she is, she's an awesome, phenomenal streamer, great conversationalist, and she's going to be talking about like sharing her life experience and all that stuff, which is what the show's primarily focused on. It's all about sharing information, sharing life experience. The charity we support, MAPS, is one of those, like, fits perfectly with the sort of perspective and ideology that me and Lee both have with the stream and everything. So thank you for being here. Thank you for engaging in conversation. You may notice alerts are muted, and that's done on purpose so that me and Lee can focus on the conversation and not get distracted. We will acknowledge all questions and stuff in the chat, but if you notice that we're kind of swept up and you want to ask something, go ahead and type !Q, and you'll be able to ask a question and have us refer back to it. The poll should be open now. Bam.
nothing like a good poll.
Good poll.
See what I
Wait,
did
what?
there?
What are you talking about?
Come on, good poll.
Is this
Right?
a Neuralink reference?
No, it's a wiener reference. I'm sorry.
It's a dong reference.
This is a 12-year-old stream, right? This is a 12-year-old show for 12-year-olds.
Yes, yes, it is.
Making wiener joke, making a wiener joke.
Alami, not pastrami.
Fuck.
You changed your name, dog.
Oh my god.
That's super funny.
I tried my best. It's okay.
It's all right.
I'm just here to embarrass myself. It's fine.
No, you're fine. Hold on. I think you are not as loud as you should be.
Oh, okay. Give me a check 1 2, huh? How do we sound? How do we sound? Gotta talk right into the microphone.
Can you guys hear Lee okay?
Can you guys hear me okay? Everything all right? Everything sweet and soundy?
Are you saying pow? What are you saying?
Are you saying pow?
You're saying pow? What are you saying?
Are you saying Jan? Janice? Janer? I don't know.
Janet?
All right, cool. Sounds good.
Okay, cool.
I've got
Lee,
the chat up over here too. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Take us on this journey. What do we do in the beginning
Listen.
of every talk show here.
Listen, okay. For those of you, I mean, a lot of us have been here before and seen the show before, but for those of you who may be new, we like to catch you guys up on the time away from the stream. We go through a lot and share a lot on the show, but I don't know if you guys understood the balance of time and space. There's way more to the week than to just this like 1.5 to 2 hours of time that we spend with each other, right? So there's a lot of things that go on the outside. So we like to share a little bit of an insight into and a peek into our lives as to how the last week, or in this case 2 weeks, has been. So we could just share those experiences, man. Share those real life experiences. Steve, go ahead and tell us, like how the past couple weeks have been, because it's been a doozy for you.
Yeah, it's been a doozy.
Like, give us some peas and carrots here.
So I mean, it started the same weekend you and I hung out. I thought I got like a bunch of mosquito bites, and it turned out to be shingles. And I was like, okay, well, that happens to old people. That can't be shingles. It's got to be poison ivy or oak. I must have rubbed up against something. We were outside, or like maybe I'm having like an allergic reaction, like hives or something, to a mosquito bite. So I let it kind of sit for a couple days, and then it started spreading all over my waist and up my lower back and towards my boys. And you got to go to the doctor when you're worried about your boys. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about your balls and penis. So it was not a fun experience, I will say that. The pain was absolutely insane. If I had waited a day or two more, I would have probably ended up in the hospital. I'm fairly certain, because when I started taking I got prescribed antiviral medication, and interesting enough, this will kind of lead us into some stuff for tonight, but they give you an antidepressant medication to help with the nerve pain. So interesting. But yeah, as far as like the pain, I would describe, it's like the pain comes from like so deep inside your body, it only feels like it's coming from like your bones. And then because your nerves are like so hot and bothered, I don't know how to explain it. They're in trouble. Your nerves are in trouble. they're
like, I think give people an up to speed. Sorry, Daisy's a little squeaker over here, but give people an up to speed of what shingles is.
Oh yeah, that's a good start. Shingles is the dormant virus of chickenpox. It's the chickenpox virus that's dormant. I don't know why I said it like that. And basically, this lays dormant pretty much since you have it, and can resurface later in life. Most likely for people who are after 50. It is uncommon for people that are younger to have it. So I'm gonna get like blood work done and stuff after I've like gone back to the doctor, just to make sure everything's kosher. But yeah, man, it stems from there, and it affects, and when it resurfaces, it shows up as like a really blistery rash, almost like you got 3rd-degree burns, and it fills with like gross stuff. And it spreads along like the lymphatic nerve system, which is located along your ribs, your upper body, like towards your shoulders, and also in your waist. And that's where the pain comes from. So the pain, like the skin is itchy and all that stuff, and that's honestly like not as bad, because like, calamine lotion and all that stuff pretty much takes care of most of that. The biggest problem is like the nerve pain. So yeah, the nerve pain, the way I would describe it was like, they come in like shocks. Like if you move your body in any way, in any certain way, and for me, since it's on my waist, it's on this part where like I have to support my weight. I was not only like limping and my posture was affected, but all of my muscles around my nerves that were affected by the blister rash were tense, extremely tense. So much so that I could only sit comfortably in my streaming chair and lay down in bed, like on my side. I'm so glad we got a new mattress. Holy shit, though, because I didn't move it at all. That was so great.
Damn.
Yeah, and the pain is nuts, dude. I don't know. I could only describe it as like, it almost feels like you're being electrified, but there's a combination of like hot stabbing that's coming outward instead of like going inward. So the pain is coming from inside you out, which is like a really strange feeling, almost like an alien's like digging through your shit. It is not fun. And so I had that for a few days. And then the antiviral medication stopped all the spreading, thank God. And now it's just inflammation and keeping my like the blister rash like clean, and then using Mederma so I don't have like scarring and stuff. But yeah, it was my first time really experiencing anything like that, and it was really, really painful. Pretty much what I would come out of it saying is like, yeah, it was really terrible, and like I thank you guys for all the love and care. Also welcome McButters, dude. I'm sorry I didn't say hello earlier. But yeah, anybody who has chickenpox can get shingles. You can get the antivirus. They already have like a vaccine for it, so I don't know what the like prerequisites of getting it are. I'm sure you can just ask, but yeah,
prerequisites for shingles
is having chickenpox. You've already had to have chickenpox. Otherwise, I guess if you have chickenpox later in life, that's a form of really bad shingles, right?
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, so I had that. Yeah. And
I'm glad at least like, sorry, but
ahead.
like that there's a friend of mine that had shingles too, and like it's not, obviously it's like a terrible thing.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm just glad like you found it quick and you were able to treat it, and it is treatable, and you got the medication that you needed and everything like that. So
yeah, man.
I'm just happy you're fucking
safe. That
safe,
was great.
dude.
Yeah, and I was when I was experiencing this too, I was thinking about, I have a friend, his name's One Hand FPS, and he had like an accident in a motorcycle accident, so he has that nerve pain like constantly, and he has to take medication to prevent it from those like neuro zaps that I was talking about. Like he has to do it regularly. I was like, dude, if this, and here's another thing too, like if it goes untreated, you can have permanent nerve damage and get those nerve shocks on a regular basis. So like if you guys think you have anything wrong like on you, you should go to a doctor. I would recommend way sooner than I did. Thank God I didn't wait till like the last minute where everything was really bad. So it wasn't like irreparable, but holy shit, was that painful. I was just really thankful for my body. Like after I heal up, I don't know, dude, I am so thankful for being able to move and walk and be like physical now, because I was just thinking about if I was 50 and dealing with this, like what kind of shape I'd be in and all that. And I was like, it would cripple me. Like it was mentally and physically debilitating. And I'm so thankful that I have all these friends online that like I was able to hang out with virtually and play with and stuff, because goddamn was I like super emotional from all of it. So I got to thanks to Discord and all of that, it was like anytime I needed to pop in, or like I wanted somebody to play a game, or I would hang out in a voice channel and somebody would just pop in because they saw me, so that was really nice. It was like almost like I was working on stuff for part of it, but it was just cool that when I was working, like people were popping in like the office, my digital office, and be like, yo dude, hey, hope everything's okay, what's going on? And then they would talk to me for like 30 minutes or more.
That's
great, really
cool.
Yeah.
You got your support channels here, dude.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I use Discord, is like kind of like a support channel. I like talking with people and stuff, and mostly like voice channel. Yeah, 100%.
Just as this show is like it's a total form of like just free talking therapy for a lot of people, because like you're in a room where you could trust people. And which is odd and interesting, because like if you were in the physical room with all these people, then like there's not as much of a likelihood to almost spout all this stuff as easily.
Right.
I feel where it's just like this weird, when you're in front of a screen, you're less likely to get caught up in like the like awkward, uncomfortable nature of just like, oh, if I say this, oh man, this is gonna be uncomfortable, but like, fuck it, so,
fuck it, dude. Yeah.
So I'm glad that you got
really cool.
you got the support channel, man. That's so great.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, it was just I did a new video with James, Cozy Boy Pranks. I don't have it on this profile just because we've got the Exp Talk Show on this one. So if you guys want to see it, I'll be streaming Saturday morning. We're gonna be playing some a really old school game that I've been waiting for a long time. I played it on an original Xbox demo disc from Xbox Magazine, like when they first started, and it's called Metal Wolf Chaos, and they re-released it on Steam as like a remaster from Devolver Digital, and I was like, dude, this is gonna be sick.
That's so dope. What is it? Wolf something?
It's called Metal Wolf Chaos. It's,
I'm not gonna
$25.
look this up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wolf Chaos, yeah.
Yeah. Nano, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Drinky Bear.
Okay.
Thank you for the alert.
I'm actually. Did you buy anything for the summer sale on Steam?
No, I don't look at any of it.
How crazy is that? Yeah.
Did you?
It's like I didn't even touch it.
Yeah. I got a lot of self-control ever since I used to be like that. I don't know. I've had a PC for a long time, and it used to be, the meme is obviously like, take my money, Steam, but when you've bought a lot of games and you haven't touched a majority of them, it's like, dude, you've got time. There will always be another Steam summer sale is what I say.
That's totally true. Yeah.
And a fucking Thanksgiving sale.
Yeah, or
and
just
another
sales in general.
Yeah, Black Friday sale, like all that shit is just all the time. Yeah. There's no reason to be like buying unnecessary shit and not getting to it.
Just buying it because it's that cheap,
Right.
I don't know.
Right, because it'll be that cheap again, 100%, or cheaper because you waited so long that you finally got to it.
Yeah. Did you ever do the Humble Bundle monthly? Did you ever do that?
No, but I remember you were doing it, and it was nuts.
Dude.
You have so
many.
many.
So I used to do that, and like Humble Bundle is a fucking beautiful service. Don't get me wrong.
100%.
But so I use it now for like comic bundles because they'll like on occasion do some really cool comic bundles. But I did the monthly, and it was like $15 a month, and you get like a bundle of games every single month. And it just like racked up to the point where I was like, I'm like overwhelmed with games right now. I have to stop using the service because it was like too good.
Yeah.
It was like too many cool games, that I had to play with.
Makes sense to me, dude.
Yeah. So it's crazy, man. But
yeah, that was literally a majority of my 2 weeks was like working on stuff, like the Cozy Boy Pranks video. I changed a lot of the follower and alert stuff just to make sure everything's like kind of streamlined. So everything looks a little bit nice. James is now like the voice of pretty much all my alerts now. So if you guys, for anybody who's been subbed for over a year, it's it's just a couple of hot boys. That's like it's me and him saying just a couple of hot boys. Like that's the alert. You guys will see it as it comes through. And then like followers are now, instead of the like you're great or like the standard like sounds that I originally had, now it's an anime gasp, which you guys are familiar with if you see me like play any games related to it. You've heard me do that, right?
I think so.
The anime gasp. Didn't me and you do this? Like I feel like we've done this.
I don't think so.
You don't know what? Do you know what an anime gasp is? Like if I was to explain it to you, you'd probably know.
It's not the...
It's like the standard reaction for every like anime person ever in any like show, even Dragon Ball Z. Like they'd be like, I don't know, say something like outlandish to me.
The moon is made of spare ribs.
That's it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. that is fucking accurate.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
that is absolutely
that's
accurate.
it.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that's so good.
How was your past 2 weeks, man?
Oh, it's been good, man. Past couple 2 weeks. So like I've had at the new job, I'm about 3 months in, and like the past 2 weeks have been really good, like concrete, like I feel much more comfortable at the new job.
Great.
I'm at like a good teetering point of like, knowing the systems, knowing how to talk, knowing how to interact with people and everything, making good relationships like internally and externally and stuff. So
right.
Today was a bit of a drag. There was a couple of things at the end of the day that were like shitty situations that it was out of my control, but was related to me and everything that I couldn't fix yet, so that's why I have beer. But
get yourself some Brondo.
Some what?
Brondo.
What's Brondo?
It's got what plants crave. It's from Idiocracy.
What freaking mystical shit are you talking about, dude?
Don't you know? Haven't you seen Idiocracy?
I did. Yeah, I did see that like not too long ago, but I don't recall that scene.
It's like it's the reason why the plants don't grow at all, because they're watering it with Brondo. It's called Brondo or whatever. He's like, it's got electrolytes. That's all they keep saying, like over and over again. I don't know, dude. It's what plants crave.
What a terribly accurate movie. Anyway, but yeah, so just feeling more comfortable at the job was a big thing, because like I was like mentally struggling for like a month of just like, I don't know anything, and like I'm not confident in my performance and my role and stuff like that. So just it was so feeling good in the past couple weeks. So you're learning in summation, you essentially were handled all the tools to do your job, and now you're getting the fundamentals down. The best way I could describe it is like, supermarket sweep, right?
Is that the one where they're like, you have to buy a certain number of groceries?
You run around a supermarket with a cart. You just fill it with shit, and like the most expensive shit, like you win, right?
Oh,
so okay. I compare it to supermarket sweep, because like when I was going through training and like learning about the company and everything like that, I was just like, I was gathering all this information. So I've got this full card of data and full card of information. And now I get to the end and I'm just like, what do I do with this? So now I've finally kind of like decompressed and like really started to get things again. So feeling really good. And I know it's just going to get better and better, which is really exciting. So job is going swell, which is dope. I've started to go to the gym with Elaine.
Nice.
You'll be proud of me there. So just doing like cardio stuff, doing some like bicep tricep work, you know what I mean? Want to like get a little thicker, you know what I'm saying? Just look at me now, bro.
Make sure you throw in mostly body weight shit before you kill yourself.
Oh yeah. So that's feeling good, like sweating like garbage at the end of it kind of stuff.
Of course, because you're
like
a
30 minutes.
Hot boy.
Yeah, I sweat. So I've been doing like 30 minutes of Stairmaster stuff, like super intense cardio, just sweating like crazy. So afterwards it's feeling good. So I'm just like, I'm building a rhythm in my brain to consistently want to go. You know what I mean? Like get excited to go. Like normally when you start to work out, you're just like, consistency and everything. So I'm just like training my brain to say every time I go, be okay with this, feel good afterwards, like know these feelings that are good for you. And then it'll become like a pattern. It'll become like just an easy thing at some point.
Yeah, it's always hard at first, but once you get in the rhythm and you're like getting your the foundation, part like the mindset in place, it's literally just like I gotta do this, I can do this, and what's gonna make me get through this?
Yeah, and so you start off and like I attribute it entirely to Elaine, because she like has a Planet Fitness subscription, an account.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, like a membership. Yeah,
membership. That's the word I was looking for. She's got a membership and she could bring a free guest. So I was like, yeah, I'll just go. Fuck it. I'll bring a pair of workout shorts in my bag to work. I get off of work, we meet each other at the gym, just go in, just fucking, who cares? Just drink water.
hit some shit.
Dude, I want to swole, dude.
You got the Icelandic body, dude. And the sweat genes, so like.
Oh, I got all that. And like I know we talked about that. Like we laugh about it, but I know we were talking about the like your genes and your like ethnic history kind of playing a role in your adaptation to heat and cold.
Yeah.
So Nano Goblin, I don't want to assume here, but are you of Nordic descent? I can only, because sweaty boys, we're Nordic normally. Like I will sit down and sweat somehow.
Can attest. We'll be like completely fine outside. Dude. And we'll be in the shade and shit. And then like within 15 minutes or whatever, Leah's like soaked and like, we gotta go inside.
I want air conditioning, please. But for a while, it's like I know that a lot of it, of course, is really attributed to my health and making sure that I'm like, I'm being healthy, being physically active, which is really helpful. But there's also a part of me that's just being okay with my genes being very Nordic and very, a very like historically north side of the planet kind of thing, where it's like adapting more to cold and everything. So there's kind of a cool combination of that and just being okay with it. But
the mindset that I borrow, and I think I don't know if you do this as well, but like metal music helps obviously, but like I like listening to the John Wick soundtrack.
Okay.
That's my workout, like, cuz that whole first movie, you remember how like he goes into the shower and he's just like holding the wall and he's just like, I got to do this shit again.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'm doing it. And then he like starts there's the whole like ritual of getting into the rhythm of like John Wick. And so that momentum, like the whole warm up is that for me, is just like, I'm going to fucking murder everybody.
Yeah, dude, hypey boy.
It's not a good idea. It's not like obviously like a good mindset, but it's an animalistic mindset. And it's a positive way for me to use my aggression that I know that I'm very, my family and like, especially something that I learned growing up, it's a positive outlet for that, because now I can just drive that anger into the like hands that are moving me and the kettlebell I'm swinging or whatever it is.
There's a lot of that history kind of comes out in your workouts and stuff. Like on Apple Music, the 9 Inch Nails Essentials album is also a very good workout routine, because it's like oddly, the tempo is very good for like stepping stairs or doing cardio, because like you're literally running at this like intense tempo that 9 Inch Nails really does, and it's really great. It's loud and it's angry.
Of course,
But after Steve, after talking with you a lot about this and like knowing how much you've been physically active and everything, like I always try to just get myself to that point of like being fairly consistent. So like only doing it for three. So it's just been like once a week for 3 weeks is what I've been doing, right? So just kind of starting easy, getting that habit, building that pattern. And now I'm just like excited to do it because I know I'm doing good for my body and everything.
And then you can do it more.
Yeah, exactly. And so we'll talk more about that, because I know that's one of the discussion topics I know you wanted. So I'll get all the sciencey shit out of the way, because we could talk about that kind of mental understanding of the seriousness of treating your body good.
Yeah.
Your vessel, you're the vessel, you're the only person piloting this vessel, so you got to
I think honestly the big thing is too, and a lot of this comes from like, I know shingles in terms of like the whole thing of like being in an accident or whatever, that's where the gratefulness comes from. It is just being able to be like able-bodied. I am like, I don't know, I feel like I was taking my body for granted. You know what I mean? Because like I literally could not go anywhere. I couldn't drive in a car. I couldn't be in a passenger in a car. I didn't go outside. Like I did absolutely nothing but sit down, because I could do nothing but sit down. And I was like, okay, well, like I was just, when you're by yourself a lot, you have to sort of look inward and see what you take for granted and what you look at. And Nano, I know you empathize with this as well. This is something that like just was not in my perceivable like universe. I didn't have an accident. I didn't have anything that like stopped me from being me up until this point, and it was something completely out of my control. You know what I mean? I could be a healthy fucking person 100%, but like shingles takes you out, anybody out for like 2 weeks, regardless of the person. Yeah. So, dude, sometimes it's even longer. It's crazy.
Let's keep that going. Let's keep this discussion going. I think we can kind of get this is that like I don't want to cut that. We're on a good groove there. So like we'll get to eventually the science shit that that we can, guys. But this I think is important, and I think that Steve and I, we are both huge advocates of this. So I think we should continue this discussion. So it's basically like Steve can elaborate on this, but it is the understanding of your body, of like the physical. We've talked about mental health and mental stimulation and gaining exp mentally and all that kind of stuff for a long time, but then we understand that this brain of ours is like a major piece, yes, but it's a piece of the rest of it. There's still the rest of your body that you have to understand is there and is vastly complex, and needs a lot of tender love and care to be able to sustain itself. And like, you know, like think about, I thought about this the other day where it's like, you think about walking, right? You think about how walking is such a natural thing to you. Like I urge people, next time you just walk somewhere, try to catch yourself not thinking about walking as you're walking. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. You're
right,
you're
like,
talking about like being present within the action and not just in the momentum of where you're going.
Right. And so, and you get like, cause I've done it a couple of times where I'm just like, holy shit. Like I'm not thinking about walking. I'm just walking because it's such a repetitious thing that I've been doing for 31 years. Well, not exactly 31 years, but I've been doing for a majority of my life that it's so second nature to me that my brain doesn't even compute it. You know what I'm saying? So it gets to this point where like we're doing a lot of physical things that are natural and we've been doing for so long. And especially when you get into your late 20s and your 30s and your early 30s, it becomes so repetitious that you just don't even think about it. So then you get lost in this, my body's good. You know, you get lost in this like mindset of not having to care because my brain's just not thinking about it. Right. Until right. Steve, to your point, you sometimes have like an accident or something bad really happens to you that you have to think about it. Right. So, kind of an example, and not to kind of bring the room down. And Steve, I know that we're this happened to us kind of recently. Steve and I lost a friend recently. Lost a guy that we worked with a few years ago to it was a cardiac arrest after knee surgery. And so that's an example. And so like and I want to preface this by not saying I want to make this about me per se, but like I experienced something almost exactly like that a number of years ago. Like I had knee surgery, developed a blood clot, got a pulmonary embolism, which is a blood clot in your lung, which if you wait any longer, it shoots to your heart and it kills you, which is unfortunately what happened to our friend. So so that is an example of just like things can just happen. Like this things are out of your control completely. Like this thing that took our friend just happened out of nowhere. Like no one expected it or anything like that.
Standard surgery.
Standard knee surgery. You know, the only thing that I knew going through like recovery from the knee surgery that my doctor told me was like, roll your ankles, keep your blood flowing so you don't develop these blood clots. But you never know how, like if it will actually prevent any blood clots or not. So my point with all this is like, and like, dude, RIP to our friend Steven, because he was an incredible human being and like such a positive, happy, and smiley guy that it just like, it is a tragedy, man. And I'm so sad about it. But it's just, it wakes you up for a second where it's like, because there's things that I can't prevent a lot, like everything from happening to me physically, but what I can control is the stuff that historically and biologically can prevent these different things, you know? Right. Not just pounding a bunch of fucking sugary water, right? Not heavily smoking, you know, not making sure you're being active to some degree. It doesn't have to be bulking up like crazy, but it's like, right. Go for a walk, go to the gym, use a friend that has a gym membership and gets a free second person to go, and just go on a treadmill, go on a stair mat, whatever it is that just keeps your body active and keeps your blood flowing and gets you to understand the complexities of again, this ship that we're piloting,
Right.
So
it's so easy to become, I don't want to say complacent, but that's what I feel like it is. It's just a complacency in that you are alive and doing the things that you're doing every day, and it's very easy to be swept up in it and just be like, forget, just forgetting. And there's ways to practice mindfulness and stuff. And I know like this conversation can go in a very generic, non-specific area, but that's pretty much what this whole thing was. Like, I mean, I had shingles and then Steven passed away and I was like, fuck, dude. Like, I'm not saying it could have been me, but if I waited any longer, I would have ended up in the hospital. I could have ended up with permanent like nerve pain. and then like I go from being like, I would consider myself above average in terms of my activity, like physical activity, to doing nothing and like not being able to do anything about that. Like, like it brought a lot of empathy towards friends like, you know, Nano Goblin and One Hand FPS, and a lot of, it gave me this lens to my physicality that I really didn't, you know, think or comprehend entirely before, because I didn't have the experience of these things in the way that they happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, you know, it is that element of control, and like both being out of control and very much in control. You know, it's like you think about psychologically the progression of our society through a number of years and stuff like that. So I kind of think about it this way. So kind of getting a bird's eye view of the last 100 years of specifically American society, but really the world, and but at least more modern societies like America, like Europe and stuff like that, is that, you know, for decades upon decades upon decades, people had to physically work to survive, right? Physically farm and manufacture and, you know, industrial revolution and all that kind of stuff. So like you are just, you have to stay active because you don't have a choice. You know what I mean? You got to make money. You got to put food on the plate. You got to do all this kind of stuff. So it is, so that became such a natural thing, the same way as you're walking, right? It was just natural. Like you're just, yeah, this is just how things are. Is I have to be physically active to make a buck or to keep society moving because it's necessary. But then, you know, the turn of the century kind of thing is like, then we get into the, you know, the 70s and 80s and 90s and to where we are today, is that it progressively got to the point where we didn't need to do as much physical labor. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't do physical labor now. You know what I mean? Steve, you don't do physical labor.
Nope.
The closest thing I had to physical labor was fucking washing cars, you know?
Right.
And so, but even that is automated, right? And everything is leading to technology. And it's like the birth of this technology and the internet and everything has now burned into our society that physical necessity and physical activity is no more. I don't need, like, you can make now, like, even farmers can program a robotic, you know, tractor to farm for them now. You know what I mean? And that's not even like a science fiction idea. So it's like, so us as a society are moving in that direction if we haven't already gotten there now. So it's really just like us catching up to the fact that, like, oh shit, I got to keep my body active.
Right.
You know, does it make sense? It's like, it's a real bird's eye view kind of look at it, but it's like,
I think, like, I don't know, a lot of people like to think of these systems as separate, but I think they're all combined.
Yeah.
Like, we work together to benefit the brain in some way, shape, or form. Your gut, your brain, there's countless, not countless, but there's studies coming out. It was within the past couple of years that, like, your gut, micro gut, or your gut bacteria, your gut biome is linked to your brain and tells your brain what it needs in order to survive. So, like,
yeah,
that's fucking nuts. Like, we're talking about your stomach, these bacteria in your stomach, these chemicals in your stomach telling your brain what you need. And so, like, for fats, for example, oh man, I could crave like a slice of pepperoni pizza. But like, when you really think about the ingredients for what your stomach wants and what your brain needs to function, it's the fats. And that's what's appealing about that slice of pizza. Without the pepperoni, it's not as appealing for some people, right? For most people, I would say. Right? Come on.
Yeah.
If you took pepperoni off my slice of pizza, I would be like, dude, get the fuck away from my pizza. You know?
Like, I'm the same way, because both of us love pepperoni pizza. Like,
100%.
I would shake the world, you know, in any capacity of what I could do if someone took my pepperoni from my pizza.
Right.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Eileen pepperoni. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So it's just, this is just like, again, like, we're just beginning to understand how, your brain interfaces with the rest of your body, but it's all one system, right? So if you take care of your system as best as you can, or start to, there is mental and physical benefits to it, and the physical benefits benefit you mentally. Does that make sense? Because a lot of it's just like, you know, I mean, I would argue a lot of people argue with or suffer with this perception from other people. They think about what other people are going to think of them, and they don't really think like outward from, you know, what is going to be good for them. It's always about how do people perceive me, and a lot of that is confidence, right? So self-worth. How do you define your self-worth? Through your work, your family, the things you put your energy into, and your body is part of that temple. It's I would say that's a really good shot.
That's good. Yeah. And I think also the other piece to it is like the physical unknown that you don't experience, like you don't experience what your body's like when you're like physically fit or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like you hear everybody all the time where it's like, oh my gosh, I've got so much more fucking energy, and like I'm so much more active and alert and like all this sort of stuff, and you just say to yourself, it's like, oh fuck you, dude. It's like, that's not me, you know? And it's like you can't understand that because I am not you. And so when you look at people that are just like gloating about, like, you know, even me doing it, it's like I don't expect you guys to like immediately jump out and start being physically fit, but I only share my own experience in this regard. But like, but you have so many people that are just, it's like, oh, so many fucking benefits, dude, physically, mentally, all the stuff. But then it's like you experience it yourself. You have to only experience it yourself. You could take other people's word for it if you want, but when you understand that for yourself and what that means for you, to the point where it's like, I'll start to get kind of specific, right? So I started gaining a little weight, you know, I'm hitting 222 right now, 223. So I'm a thick boy a little bit, you know, and I'm a tall kid, you know, and so like I started gaining weight because like my body's catching up to how shitty I ate for so many years, and so I've got these little, you know, these little flabby love handles, you know what I mean? And so, I get out there and I try to work, and I'm doing these like Stairmasters and stuff like that, and you kind of see these just minor, slight improvements that are just no one sees them. No one sees them. Someone sees my love handles the same way 3 weeks ago as they do today, but it's about me understanding that my body's doing something different, and I see the progression and I feel the progression. So I guess what I'm getting at is just like any physical activity, if you feel it to be something that you want to do, you know, you get to the point of like these little incremental steps, and especially capturing your mentality through that process to know that you're doing good for yourself. And then in turn, it creates this positive mental trigger that then makes you want to repeat it and want to keep going and want to keep doing it, you know? So,
and it's difficult as fuck. Yeah. Like I know like a lot of people get shit online for being like muscle bros and fitness girls and like all this other shit. And I mean, obviously there's a dark side to all of this, and there's a spectrum to existence, but like when it comes down to it, those people did work very hard to get to where they're at, like physically hard, because you can't do that. I mean, well, you could technically with like some drugs and medications and stuff that are out there, but let's negate most of that, and let's just assume that a lot of people put a lot of physical effort into becoming better. The way that I thought was really nice that explained it to me was a metaphor of a highway. So if you are driving on the highway and you're going the wrong direction, you can be going the wrong direction for a long time, years even, before you realize you need to turn around. It doesn't mean the highway's gone. It doesn't mean that you can't go back. It just means that the trek back is even longer. And so you just need to give yourself time. Yeah. You can't speed. You can't. If you speed, the more likely you're going to get into an accident, right? Bump into other people and harm others. You have to go at your own pace, in a comfortable pace, and do as much as you can to get back on track. And sometimes all that effort just gets you back to 0 from when you started your journey. But all of that backtracking does yield a reward, and that's you being more mentally and physically capable of handling what's ahead of you. Yeah, because you already experienced all the bad shit already, you know? Right. I don't know. Man. I thought that analogy was really, really well done.
Yeah, dude. Agreed. Oh my gosh. So I think it's just like, I think it's important for everybody, because like these ideas have the capacity to be tailored to anybody, no matter what level of physical endurance that you want to do or wish you could do or whatever it is, it's like it starts with yourself. It starts with your confidence in your own abilities, and like not holding yourself to anybody else's expectations. You know, like you see all the get fit real quick, lose 20 pounds in 20 days or whatever.
Try this sick thing that'll get you ripped in 60 days.
I don't give a shit. And I know, like,
it's making your dick bigger pills. It's making your boob bigger pillars.
Yeah, right. It's placebo shit, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, it's supposed to be to get you to think that you're doing something right, but in reality, it's like, in order to make a sustainable, physical fitness, healthy mentality is trying it on your own terms, at your own pace. Look for your own goals, find your own confidence. It's so fucking, which is the irony here is, like I was telling you about, we talk about all this all the time. We talk about like our mental health and everything like that all the time. And we're trying to talk about physicality, but it does work hand in hand.
They're the same.
They are the same. It is. We are one body. We are one organism. So it's like, so you have to balance that mentality of being confident in who you are and your abilities and stuff like that, and then using that to balance the physicality part of it. So, yeah, and
I wasn't like, I think a lot of people, I think you and me came into sort of like different ends of the spectrum. Like, I know we both have ADD, but like for me, I feel like I was like I was a lot dumber, a lot more dumb than I was dumb. I was dumb and not physically fit, and then like I went back and like, okay, well now I'm gonna start taking care of myself, and then I started listening to more podcasts and audiobooks and started learning the way that I like to learn, and started working out the way I like to work out. And like, if you don't like something, there's a way to be physically active or mentally active in a way that you like, that will allow you to grow and become better regardless of where you are. I think that's like a truth that everybody can find. Like, I remember being at the gym. I remember going with my friends, and I remember 6 months of doing that, and then just fucking dreading it because I wasn't stimulated enough. And then I found my own avenue of like doing that with like kettlebells and mace and like the tribal stuff that you guys hear me talk about for like On It. You can find your own way and find your own like path in that direction in physical and mental planes. It's just a matter of you exploring, strike while the iron is hot, though. When you get that endorphin hit and you're like, this is cool, you fucking go for it, ride the wave.
Dude, hell yeah, I agree with that, dude.
There was a reason why you like that Stairmaster, right? Because you have the fucking 9-inch nails or track, and you're like, this is perfect, get up these fucking stairs. Like, dude,
exactly, it was brutal, man. It hit the right notes, and like, and I think I've gotten just mentally to this point at this age where it's just like, you found yourself. It's like you
discovered another portion of yourself.
Well, I've discovered another portion of myself, but ultimately, like, I have found who I am and want to be. It's like through my 20s and stuff, I was just like, I'll try anything. I'll try all this, fucking cultural ADD, where it's like you just try all these different things to try to see what you latch onto. And it just gets overwhelming because you want to fit in and you want to make friends and make sure friends are cool with you and all that kind of stuff. And it's just like, you get to a point where you're just like, I'm done with that. I'm good. It's like, I am happy about the person I've turned out to be based off of my life experiences. So then it's just, now I am like, if you're an ice sculpture carver, I'm at those, near end stages of completion, where it's like I'm chipping away at those little things that are a part of me that can then just,
bring out the
allow me to be a beautiful ice swan. It's like, everyone's got to be a beautiful ice swan by the end of their existence. I urge everybody to do that.
You can be whatever shape you want, I think.
Whatever you want. No,
that's a good analogy. I like it.
You know, it doesn't have to be a swan. It could be like a fucking
I want to be a
meerkat,
dinosaur.
a dinosaur. It
Yeah.
could be a leaf, just a big ice leaf.
Big leaf.
It could be ice microwave. You could be just a microwave.
I want to be an ice microwave. 100%.
Think about it, man. Like all that stuff. Any ice cube requires chipping. It requires refinement.
Right.
It requires sensitivity because it's ice and you could chip off the wrong piece.
Right. You can't
This
go too
happens to my
fast.
brain, dude. This happens to my brain where I'll fucking
Ice
an
cucumber?
analogy will shit into my brain, and then I'll be like, wait, let's take this somewhere. You know, it's like
It works though.
and then it just
it
goes,
does
man,
work.
fuck, be your own ice sculpture.
Wow.
Damn, dude, heavy shit.
You know what's it gets meta too, because not only are you the ice sculpture, but you are the sculptor of ice.
Dude, now you're just breaking space and time right now, dude. Breaking space and time.
Hell yeah.
Can I share another thing with you? Can I share another?
Of course,
thing with you?
yeah, yeah.
So like, so we got this body mind kind of.
And this
thing.
all came
So,
from us talking about our 2 weeks, by the way.
and so be it. God damn it, you know. And so this is how it works. But another thing that kind of happened this past couple weeks. So I've closely reconnected with an old high school buddy of mine, and who was I was super close with him. He's like weird guy. My buddy Drew. He's such a sweet fucking guy. Steve, you've met Drew, I'm pretty sure, in our backyard hangs or something like that. Do you recall Drew? Drew Cook, husky boy, really strange, glasses.
Red beard?
Anyway, you need to. Yeah, he's got like a small beard, but
Yeah.
you need to know him, right? And I will do my part as your friend and his friend to bring your two orbits close to each other. But
Sounds good to me.
So Drew and I have started to like reconnect lately, and because I see, or like his creativity is infectious. You know, his very strange personality is infectious. You know, he's a weird fucking guy. And so he plays music. He's killer bassist, like absolute killer bassist, right? And so like I've seen his band a couple times. We saw his band on Sunday night. Acceptor, if you find Acceptor out there from Chicago, awesome, just crunchy. You know, they call themselves pop punk, but I think they're a little more punk than pop punk, but like really good stuff. And so he's inspired me to try to play more music and to, you know, listen to stranger music and different music and stuff like that, from the stuff that I like. And so I don't know why I wanted to bring this up, but it's just like another kind of mental check box where you're just like, you know, this is how I want to spend my time, is surrounding myself with more of the right people. My life is great now, but just more of the right people, gaining experience through others like Drew, and staying connected with him, and you know, us going on this like friendship journey into new experiences together in a way, you know,
And territory. Yeah.
I don't know if that's happened to you. Has that happened to you at all recently, like reconnecting with an old friend and just like resparking some shit in your
I will say
your
that
brain?
in terms of like my online friends, I've gravitated towards a lot more of the like vibe and energy that I feel like makes me a better person and inspires me. A lot of the biggest problems that I have with Twitch and like Twitter and stuff is that the quote unquote networking thing, like getting to know so many people and like feeling like you're involved with their lives and shit, is too much. Like you can't, if I give anybody advice, like with the whole networking thing, find people you vibe with, hang out with them and their channels, and keep your circle small. Don't be afraid to like cut people out that you have outgrown, because I've done that like quite a bit, and I feel like I've gotten better as a broadcaster and as a person because of that, because I'm being surrounded by people who are inspiring me. And it's not even like cut them out in a sense like I don't want to see or hear or do anything. Like, your time is valuable. Any amount of time you can give to somebody is valuable. You need to choose how you're doing that. Like, you need to choose how you're using your time effectively. If you feel like you're not benefiting from anything in your own way, not in like they're gonna raid me or host me or like any of that, like, you are growing as a person in some way, shape, or form by being exposed to their experiences, that is when I feel like you should be involved with things. And it's the same thing with like podcasts and books and like all that stuff. And obviously, you know, going into uncomfortable territory is also recommended, because if you're in a place that you don't like and you're kind of seeing how things work, you still learn something. It's just a matter of like being in the uncomfortable and just seeing for what it is. It's if you can't make, like, I've done this before where like I start something new, even if it was like a workout or like a book, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna approach it from this direction and it's weird and I don't like it, so let's try it from this direction. Or like I'll put it down and I'll come back to it. I'm like, maybe I just didn't need it at that point in time. You know what I mean? It's just there's a lot of I'm gonna put this down and I'm never picking it back up mentality that you have, like give up on it and just like never approach it. But there's I mean, you have to reapproach something even if you've had the time. Like I remember when I started working at Apple, my language and how I spoke and how I used words was very minimal, like so much so that I was more of like a bro than I was a person who understood the context of words and how they say. What?
Interesting person that popped in. That's okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep going.
I mean, I'll let you do your thing, dude. I mean, this isn't my first fucking.
This ain't my first rodeo, baby. I know where you're trapping us, dude.
Not even a trap, but I understand where you're coming from. My question is, what are you doing? I don't need to try it. I already done it, dude. You're speaking to a future KonkyTalks 64, man. Yeah, I know it's not against TOS. I don't need to say it though, just because, dude, if you think, okay, let me just say this really quick.
Steve, I love you, but like,
I'm not gonna do. I don't need it, dude.
No, we don't need to. We don't even need to dive into it. Let's just keep our conversation rolling.
You're right.
Let's not put focus on that.
Yeah,
we got things to worry about. That is
no worries. Yeah,
toxic people. So keep talking about your mental health.
Dude, he's not toxic though. He's not. It's just.
I mean, he just called you a homo, so it's...
Yeah, but it's not even like... I don't know. Dude, if you wanted to insult me, come up with something like... I don't know, fucking original.
Bro. Steve? Eyes on track, bro. Okay, tunnel vision. Sorry. What are we talking about?
We're talking about how, like, you reapproach a problem or a thing that you're trying to, like, reassess so you can determine if it's going to be... beneficial for you. So even if you don't, like, if you try something initially or experience something initially that you find very difficult or hard to cope with, reapproach is often not talked about, and I think that's really important. So I don't know, that's probably the biggest thing is like reapproach the things that you've put down. If you were like, hey, I'm not going to be able to do this, well, try reapproaching after like a few weeks. Or I mean, I know my time frame sometimes has been like months, and I'm like, okay, well, this idea that I had, what do I do? You know, what's the whole, like, what's the vibe? What do I do now after I've experimented countless times? It's, well, maybe then it's time to give up. You know, like, I think knowing when to give up is important, but a lot of people don't really reapproach, if that makes sense. Yeah.
I think I don't know. It's hard to describe and stuff, but I think, you know, you gotta fucking stick to your guns. I'm sorry. You know? Yeah. Sometimes stubbornness is really nice, but it can, I don't know. That's a hard one. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got some serious stuff. Yeah, it's all stems off of
all this stemmed from the bad stuff that happened in the past couple of weeks.
Well, not entirely bad, but I think, you know, we like to turn these bad situations into some sort of mental learn and some sort of, you know, growth from it and everything. And
well, we take the experience that others have and we adapt them, see them through the lens that we have, like understanding that phrase, like you or me living a different life, like that could have been me, or I'm experiencing this, and like because I'm experiencing shingles, I'm thinking about my friends who suffer like equally would just, you know, hey, they were in a motorcycle accident. It has nothing to do with shingles, but it's the same thing almost, you know?
Yeah, like anything.
Taking your
that's
physicality for granted, in summation.
There you go. Taking that physicality for granted.
To break, speaking of which, to break away from these limitations, I don't know if you guys caught the whole like Elon Musk Neuralink presentation.
Are we getting into that stuff?
We're getting into it. That beginning, I will say the beginning of that video on YouTube is very rough, just because you can sense like Elon's nervousness about the whole situation, because he's not very good at talking with everybody, especially when something's so ambiguous as like a microchip implant that can improve the brain and help people with neurological diseases and paraplegics. This is all science fiction coming to life, essentially. A lot of that too, like, it was really funny. I'm watching the intro video and it's showing like scientists working and like all this shit, and he's like, that's not stock footage, that's actually what's happening in the lab. Like, that robot you saw is real, that's a real robot, like all of that shit. And I was kind of just taken aback for a moment, and then he was talking about how small everything was, and he was kind of stumbling through it, and then the people who actually work at Neuralink came on, and I was like, oh my god, this isn't just like talk, this is literal things that they are doing and plan to do. And what was the goal they had? It was successfully implementing this in a human before 2020.
Before the second quarter or something like that of next year.
Yeah.
So like not distant future at all. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to go over some of the stuff, I would be, totally okay with that.
Well, I think it's just like we don't necessarily have to get into the details of like what this kind of program thing is. I'm going to pull up the website or the article. Yeah. But for those of you that are curious about this, so like Elon Musk, as we know, is going to go down in history as a very, very as one of the stranger entrepreneurs on the planet that has proved successful in these ambitious endeavors that he goes on. So you have Tesla, so like this nothing but electric car company that has been wildly successful in a very short amount of time, leading into like power cells for your home, so keeping electricity and solar energy to your home, and then leading into it's stemming from like PayPal and eBay and all these other things that he came from, and now SpaceX. So SpaceX is now taking us to places we never thought we could with space travel. The most powerful rocket ever created was through Elon Musk's ambitious companies, and reusable rockets, like serious science fiction shit, and stuff that has never been thought of before and never been put into action before, but now, right? And so
it's Elon one thing Musk to have it on paper.
One thing
to have the paper and also the like executable shit is an entirely different story.
Right. And so just the fact that he's been able to take his wealth, which I wish more billionaires did, is like take your wealth and turn it into something that literally changes the world and changes the fabric of our society in a positive way.
Not just by politicians.
Right, and not by, fucking Jeffrey Epstein that wanted to like create basically like what is it? Oh shit, what's that TV show? I don't know. He wanted I forgot. There's a TV show that's out there that's like this. Hey babe. Hey babe. What's that? Handmaid's Tale. Found it. Never mind. We're good.
You found it in the file cabinet.
Oh geez. Jeffrey Epstein basically wanted to like make Handmaid's Tale a real thing by like impregnating a bunch of women and like anyway, so
sick.
That's a discussion for another day. We've talked about like the wealth population and everything, but so Elon Musk's next like serious endeavor first was an idea, and now it's like really happening because there's like a whole presentation about it and everything. Is this Neuralink a company, and which is basically like embedding a programming chip into your brain and weaving these like these robotic fabrics into your brain to like
there are electrodes that sit next to your neurotransmitters that help the brain compute like 10,000 times what it normally could.
And so you think about that is literally the Matrix. I mean, that is basically the Matrix where you're plugging in.
Did you see like the learn skills shit? Okay, so like in this mock-up, basically what he's talking about, they do these like neural implants, and the neural implants that they have today are like 10,000 times bigger than what Neuralink is. Neuralink is smaller than the blood vessels in your brain, so it's less likely to cause trauma, bleeding, all the things that essentially prevent you from getting anything operated on or implanted in your brain. So current generation technology, like cutting edge technology right now, doesn't even have what Neuralink has in terms of like the smallness of everything. Mm-hmm. So much so that they had to build a robot specifically to install it. And one of the crazy things is like, this isn't supposed to be like a hospital visit. It's supposed to be like LASIK, where you go to a facility, you get this thing implanted, and then you recover within hours, because the incision is extremely small and all of the work is so minuscule that it does, and non-invasive, that it's easy to do quickly and recover from, which is absolutely insane. And as far as like the wires go, since they're smaller, I mean, not only are they smaller than like the blood vessels, but the wires are it's the way they manufacture and explain the manufacturing process, everything down to, I mean, when I say this stuff, like when I say these things, without explaining the manufacturing process, none of this is plausible. It's all on paper still, right? Mm-hmm, so what they do in this video is they go through the very like fundamentals of how big these things are, what it's like, and then also going into the manufacturing process and how they're able to manufacture, I think it's like 10,000 plus chips in one go with the nanofibers to boot. And when I say nanofibers, like I can't even describe how small they are. They are not visible to the human eye.
It's like you think about like spider's web. It's like a fraction of the size of a spider's web. You know? It's like
you can't even
unreal science fiction stuff.
And that's what they mean by like non-invasive is like this robot places this whole thing and essentially weaves it into your brain through these like small. God damn, it's so fucking crazy. Like when they zoom in on this thing, it looks like the thread of a needle, like the very top of a needle where it's got like that little hole in it, except it's on a nano scale. And you and me, Lee, have talked about like the possibilities of 3D printing and shit. They show off a manufacturing process that is so futuristic in the sense that like, yes, I mean, that's extreme. We're talking about cellular level manufacturing, and the next step is atomic, right? But that's a whole different fucking story.
Which is not impossible. And I think that what comes to mind with this stuff, right, is like, so even Steve and I briefly were talking about this before the show started, is like we're watching this stream and like you're kind of hearing the presentation being like, do they know what they're talking about here?
Right.
You know, is it really to a point of being such a reality that they're able to talk about it publicly to the entire world? You know what I mean? And
yes, they are.
The answer, yes, they believe it to be so, but it's like, but the rest of the world is like, I have no fucking clue because I'm not a neuroscientist. Right. I'm not a technology. You know, I can't dabble in that stuff because I don't have the training or the knowledge to do so. But what I love, you know, whether or not this stuff ends up being real, right? Which it sounds like it's kind of, you know, it's happening to some degree, right?
Right.
Is I'm a big proponent of just like people bringing these ideas to light, right? So now the fact that they have even just thought of it and thought of some sort of practical nature to it, you know, whether or not it's real, the idea is now planted in everybody's head. So then the idea is like, well, he was not able to accomplish it, but maybe I can. Or this other person. I mean, there's so many people on the planet. There's at least that blip. You know, we talk about those blips in fractal geometry that happen everywhere. Is like, that's another blip of just like the idea just gets dropped into the planet. The idea gets dropped into society where it's like, we've got an idea and I think we're going to roll with it, because like you have to believe.
Well, I mean, it's more than rolling with it. Like again, you're talking about the way you're talking about it is like, that's what it's like to be executed on paper. But he like they presented a manufacturing process and a robot and these things that are all of the ingredients for it being a practical thing. And when you've got a neurosurgeon also in the presentation talking about how this is how the differences between like current neurosurgeons operate and how the future of neuroscience can progress with like what these devices can do, it's friggin' unbelievable, to be honest. Like, it's just, I wasn't expecting a whole lot out of that presentation. Like when Elon talked about the presentation, he set the expectation that this isn't like a promise or anything. This is like us trying to get people to work with us, because we're trying to recruit more people to like help us become better and make this thing a reality. But then, I mean, he says that, and then like the rest of the people that show up are like, yes, this is our current manufacturing process. This is how it's different from everything. This is the size comparison. This is the surgical procedure, and the robot that like does this the surgery, and they were explaining like how your brain physically moves because of your heartbeat and your breathing, and the robot can calibrate that movement and make sure that every nanofiber that's going into your brain is precisely placed as if you were standing completely still, and how it can occur under conscious anesthesia, so it doesn't even have to go into the realm of a hospital.
Fucking shit.
Like, what? Okay, I got a lot of questions, and none of them are gonna be like, I feel like all of them are answered. You know what I mean? Like, I want to know what the facility looks like now. What are my updates? Because like when they were going through these steps, they're gonna go in stages, obviously, kind of like how Tesla did it with like the most expensive models, and then going down to like the most basic. But like their goal is to help Alzheimer's, schizophrenia, like all these mentally debilitating illnesses which claim the lives and affect individuals all over the world. It's one of our like biggest like limitations with how all of this is being done. Like the mental capacity of human beings, that's our barrier of entry, right? Once that's unlocked, you essentially can do anything, right? So
I mean, it's like
I had this, I gotta finish this thought, because like I thought about this while I was watching this. So you know how and this is a tangent, okay? I will preface it with this, but you know how like all aliens in lore and in current science fiction, they have no sex organs?
Yeah.
Now, this is just outlandish, but it's a good book idea if anybody wants it, comic book idea. But what if aliens were created by a human race that knew, like, implanted the idea of aliens and like how they look and everything within culture, right? So like the human race has already been spreading across the galaxy, is my idea. And
I like where you're going with this.
And the whole alien mythos and like all that shit is like, that's still the humanity that's a part of being a human, but now you live longer, you think faster, all that shit. What are you gonna do? Well, you're gonna spread the human race across the galaxy, because it just makes sense. Like, that's what the biological things that you would do as a human being. But now you're smart enough to make biological material out of nothing. So what do? Well, you look at how everybody's progressing and how they're getting along and how everything's going by using drones or AKA people or aliens.
Damn.
And
was this a idea you had sometime?
No, it happened when I was in the kitchen. I was like cooking steak, and I'm like listening to this, and I'm like, I mean, the whole like the world, like aliens created us. I'm like, what if we as a human race created the aliens, and the aliens were like an inspiration because of like the mythos of human beings becoming so smart that they developed their own technology to become so smart to make other biological beings to search or monitor another planet without themselves being discovered. And then like once that barrier of entry is completed and you become the smartest civilization ever and like fully utilize your planet and all that fun shit, you are welcomed into the galactic human race. And I was like, all right, I gotta finish cooking this steak.
Damn, dude, that is.
Are you a little sweaty? Because I am. When I said that out loud, I was like, "Is this really like what my brain is doing right now?" Because
so here's the beauty of that, dude. Here's the fucking beauty of that. It's like is the fact that again, it's like, who gives a shit whether or not that like your idea is real?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like the fact that you could just like get excited about the possibility of it, you know, because of the understanding and the nature. So, I got a segue.
Yeah.
Quick segue.
Segue.
So one of the other topics we were going to talk about was recently I think it was the Hubble. I'm pretty sure it's Hubble. Discovered 39 new galaxies that we had never seen before. Right? So there's this vast array.
Say it again one more time for the folks at home.
These unseen galaxies have now been seen. You know,
how many?
39 of them. So 39.
How close are they?
They're very far away. So the idea is, I think I saw like a mock-up.
Did they come into view? Or
so,
have they always been there?
Oh, I'm gonna tell you, babe.
Oh, sorry. I've got all these questions for a story you're starting. So go ahead.
So I got your answers. So basically, like I'm pretty sure I saw a mock-up of like where these are in conjunction with our with the Milky Way, with our own galaxy. Which, side note, did you hear about the fact that they discovered that the Milky Way galaxy is like warped? You hear about that?
Like divoted, you mean?
Well, it's like
what do you mean warped? Like a black hole in the center warped?
When you think about the Milky Way galaxy, you think it's one flat disk that's just like moving in an oval shape, right? And into the center of a black hole, right? That's kind of that's your perception of it. It's been that way,
like spiraling down, I guess, is what I would.
Right. But you think it's like a single, like, you know, if you were to look at it at a flat plane, it would look like it's just that thick, right?
Okay.
So it turns out that the Milky Way galaxy's warped because they've been able to find more data. So that alone is kind of a cool thing. What we don't know. We don't know what we don't know yet until we start to research it.
Well, it kind of goes into the theory of like gravity waves and warping space and time and like all that shit. So it's kind of natural that it's like there's no way they could be just a full galaxy's a perfect circle. But anyway, because that's another thing too. Like we kind of have that's implanted in our perception because of how like but like educational materials like Cosmos and stuff display things.
And it's our current state of our knowledge.
Right.
So here's the beauty of this is that like, so now with these new galaxies that have been discovered, so basically think about like, let's just still imagine that the galaxy is still like a flat edge, right? So you have this kind of like circular, it's a sheet of fabric, right? But if you look along that sheet of fabric, you're not able to see the other side of that sheet of fabric.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So like that's been this perception. So we're look through the fabric of our galaxy, and you get clouds, you get other stars, you get other star systems and all that kind of stuff that basically cloud the vision of the other side. Like you can see all this other stuff on either side of our galaxy, but not through it. You know what I'm saying? So basically like that was what was discovered with a series of radio waves and all these different telescopes and stuff like that all around the planet that gathered this data that basically saw through our Milky Way galaxy to the point where it's like there's this whole other chapter and this whole other side of our galaxy that has been hidden forever. So again, simply and conceptually, it's fucking amazing because it's like, what else aren't we seeing out there? You know, what else haven't we discovered? We don't know what's out there until we keep discovering, and technology is going to get better and better to the point where we'll be able to see things much easier. So to your point, Steve, it's like we thought that the Milky Way galaxy was flat because that was based off of our scientific knowledge. How funny is it? Is
it's just like the fucking Earth being flat?
It is, yeah, it is, and that's the funny irony.
That's a really like ironic thing to happen to us twice. Like fucking duped again, guys.
Yeah. It's like maybe
cool.
Even the galaxy's a sphere. We don't know.
So maybe we're inside it. Maybe we're inside a sphere.
We don't know. But it's like, but the point is like
maybe we're inside a Pizza Hut that's inside a Taco Bell. That's inside your mind.
I mean, that kind of sounds like a fantasy. You know?
Is it the real life? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh God, I want Taco Bell and pizza now. I haven't had dinner yet, so I'm gonna probably eat something. But it's like, this magic of not. Of discovering things that we never thought existed until someone was like, let's try this. Let's use these coordinates and point these radio waves to this part of whatever. And sure enough, you found a whole other, avenue of a bunch of galaxies that we hadn't seen before. So it's like it's magical and fantastic. And the other side to this discussion is the fact that a lot of this was gathered. I think it was gathered by Hubble. Scientists had an unprecedented look at the universe when the Hubble Space Telescope was sent into space, began looking around because it was yeah. So like what we know of today, here's the Hubble connection, is like what we know of visually today is because of the Hubble telescope. So those images of galaxies and the perception that they're that shape are because of Hubble. Now, for those of you that know, like Hubble was launched like 30 fucking years ago. So it's technology from 30 fucking years ago. And another magical breakthrough in science and space exploration was a pretty critical second mirror test of the James Webb telescope, which I urge you all to look up and research and understand, because this is going to be a telescope that's going to be launched, I think 2022 or something like that. And it is a new telescope from today's technology. So you can imagine, think of a video camera or a photo camera from 30 years ago versus what they are today.
Barf,
right? So imagine that same thing from a fucking telescope perspective. And like the technology
HD
and
footage,
the
bro. Dude, that means like 30 years
yeah.
from now, we're gonna be having the same memories and shit from.
Right.
Fuck. That's crazy.
And so
that's crazy to think about.
Yeah. And so what the instant I'm gonna watch this really closely, because the launch of the James Webb telescope is going to change the way we look at the universe. It's going to. I believe it full-heartedly, because it is a new instrument that's going in like outside like our atmosphere and just giving us a wider and more detailed and more vast look at what we thought the universe to be, and I know will end up being completely more than we ever thought existed. So it's a magical time that this thing is ready to go. And I told my cousins, I was just joking, I was like, dude, I can't wait to see like an 8K real image of the pillars of creation, which is like this star system that's billions of miles away. And we've seen mock-ups, we've seen renderings of a lot of these things, which are beautiful and very accurate. But when I get to see that shit, it is going to be just shaking my core, man. And it's like, so these discoveries, these discoveries more often than not is yet another reason why science and discovery and knowledge is so fucking important to our society. We don't have, us as little peons on the ground level have no understanding of science to the degree that most people do, that a lot of people do in the scientific community. So I believe that trust in them is serious, man. And like, I watched have you been watching The Planets at all on PBS?
No, I don't have PBS.
So it's a free Apple TV app. It's a free app on iPhone, iPad, and all that shit.
Oh, okay. So you just download
and all
it
the
and
content
watch?
is free. Yeah, PBS is
it's public school network, right?
Public, yeah, exactly. So public broadcast service, right? So it's like, so PBS made all of the episodes of The Planet.
I don't know.
So it's your instinct reaction. It's fine.
Yeah, I guess.
So The Planets is a like 8-part series or something like that, and it's the American version is narrated by Zachary Quino, and the BBC version is narrated by Brian Cox, which are just two heroes of mine, right? But it's another scientific show with mock-ups of the birth of our solar system and just learning about the of our surrounding planets and all that kind of stuff. And it's just so fucking educational that it breaks down these complex ideas that scientists took all the resources they can to discover. Like, for example, I got a fun fact for you, and this is something that we all can do, which I think is incredible. We all know Venus, right? We all know how bright Venus is in the sky, right?
Sure. I didn't, but yeah.
Yeah, Venus is one of the brightest planets in the sky because like we could see it with the naked eye. You know it's there. Mars is like, you know, a dim red light in the sky. You can point it out if you really look at it, but Venus, you know that's Venus because it's super bright. And the reason why Venus is so bright, and I learned this from the show, is because it's completely covered in clouds. Right? So you think
it's just
about
reflecting
Earth,
the sunlight the whole time.
it's all clouds reflecting light from the sun. And so when you look at that, so next time you look at the sky, you look for Venus, use an augmented reality app to find Venus, whatever the fuck. And you look at it with your naked eye and you're like, okay, someone on Earth at some point stared at that light in the sky and they were like, okay, I could see what I could see, but what am like I need to understand what I'm not seeing here. And so they dedicated their lives and their instruments and their tools and their knowledge and all that
or
stuff.
They were inspired by others.
Or they were inspired by others, exactly. And it's like, and so because of those kinds of people that just stare at something for so long and they're like, I need to know everything about that one thing. We learned the fact.
I just thought of the phrase, it's standing on the shoulders of giants.
100%. Oh, absolutely. Like,
what
I love
a beautiful
that fucking
phrase.
Standing on the shoulders
Welcome
of
in,
giants,
Polar
where it's
Knights.
like,
Welcome in.
Yeah. And so you don't like, you know, you are seeing this view that is fucking so magical. And so like it gets to the point now where you know, that idea of like, what is Venus and I need to know everything about Venus has now spread to the point where NASA was like, let's put our tools to this, right? They launch probes, they launch, you know, all these different things. The Planet show goes through all of the major like probe launches on like the Cassini mission to Jupiter and like, you know, different missions to Mercury and Venus and, you know, all the surrounding planets to just find out what is there and what else we can find.
Right.
And just this, you know, just learning about these different facts about this, like, why is Venus covered in clouds? You know, what is it on the surface? It's so fucking inspiring. And I had this moment when I was watching the planets where it's like, I was influenced, you know, cannabis was involved, but that's beside the point. But I had this moment of just like, this is a passion for me because my fucking ADD brain that's always, you know, trying to figure out things in doses. I was like, I need to know more. Like, you know, rewinding back and finding out about that fact again and learning more and trying to absorb as much information as I could to motivate me to just, you know, just to keep my brain going. I was like, this is a passion. This is a passion for me. And it was a crazy, euphoric moment of happiness and you know, and motivation, you know. And so I urge people to watch the planets and any fucking space documentary, any nature documentary. Learning about our surroundings is unbelievable. And
if you want a good start,
encourage it enough.
You know, we recommend it all the time, but Cosmos is a great start.
It really is. It's such a Cosmos, the original Cosmos and the new Cosmos is such a spectrum of science knowledge that's not just space related. It talks about our planet and everything. It's just when you get that perception of how everything came to be what it came to be, you get an understanding of where we're going,
mm-hmm.
and then it gives you just more like, and it's just like motivation to keep doing it, keep going, and like keep understanding, learn more that you're not. It's a form of religion, to be quite honest with you. You know, mm-hmm. It's like it's like
believing in aliens.
Yeah, it's like you're chasing something that you can't prove to be real, but based off of the facts and based off of the stuff that you do know, you know it to be real.
Right.
You know, so it's like you just got to keep going. Sorry, I'm babbling, but just
no,
like,
you're totally fine.
I had a good mental moment of just.
Well, you're talking about you know where we come from, and a lot of that kind of stems from a lot of it you could take on like a personal level too, but if you're looking at it in terms of space and everything, the only thing you can really do is compare it to how humanity has progressed. And like we had the moon landing anniversary.
Yes.
50 years since then.
I bought
half
a t-shirt.
of a human being's life. You know what I mean? That's half a grandpa, guys. Like
half a grandpa ago, we landed on the moon.
Right. Or a little more than half, maybe. I don't know. It's just it's insane that we have more technology in our pockets than we did, taking us to a separate chunk of rock that broke off how many years ago? Like 48 billion years ago or something.
1960. Oh, the moon? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like we see this stuff with our naked eye, dude. We see the moon every night. And It's like, and the fact that yet again someone was staring at the moon and they were like, I want to go there. And then it's like, then 1969 came around and they were just like, we're gonna fucking go there.
Yeah, the first conversation that happened, and I probably, no joke, was probably like, oh. And then it turned into we're going to the moon.
Yeah. We choose to go to the moon.
Right.
Not because it is easy, but because it is hard. Anyway, so like
because it's hard, like my penis.
Sorry, bro. You talk about a historical speech there, bro.
Hey, we all saw that happy birthday shit with what's her name? I can't remember. God damn it.
Oh man. But it's like, but yeah,
birthday, Mr.
Marilyn
President.
Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe, thank you.
Yeah. But so it's the 50th anniversary this year. You know, 20 years ago it was 1999.
Yeah.
And so that is a celebration of Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. That is a celebration of
the creation Matrix. Of Jar Jar Binks.
The Matrix.
The Matrix.
Right? Which, by the way, Steve, you and I have to go to an AMC theater near one of us. We'll talk more about this, but they're bringing The Matrix back into the theaters in Dolby Vision and sound.
Gotta go.
So
for sure. I watched that movie literally. I've seen it so many times that I put it on like when I'm working on shit in the background because I love the fucking movie. The first one specifically. Unbelievable movie. So we gotta talk about that. The original Blade Runner takes place in 2019. Do we have to celebrate that? Wow.
The movie Akira from 1988 was also
insane
took place
for 88.
Unreal.
88? Dude, yeah.
I was born in 88, dude. And that movie was ground shaking.
100%.
Visually, conceptually.
What was the spearhead that like drove like Japanese animation into the forefront of everyone's like mind? They were like, what the fuck? Like, what is this? It was
one piece of Akira thing that I found out was like Akira was one of the, if not the first anime film to use a higher frame rate, like animate in a higher frame rate. So when you watch it, you see details that you've never seen before, or details that the animators had to go to extreme lengths to pull off. And so
it makes everything a lot smoother, like almost like a movie or CG.
Totally. Yes. And so that was what was visually stunning, that just inspired a generation to be like, fuck, this movie's incredible.
Right.
So we got to keep doing. But I guess, I don't know what the point is for all of this, but like,
well, I mean, it's been 50 years of human progress, right? Like we've gotten faster, better, stronger. Neuralink was announced like recently. There's just a whole lot of stuff like creating the momentum for human civilization to get to know their cosmic environment better and hopefully themselves better at a certain point, right?
Yeah, agreed. And I think like what also comes to mind is like, I know, so like thinking about just technology in general, I'm going to keep this really short and sweet because I think we've got to wrap up in a second, but like, which this could be a whole nother conversation, but we'll save it. But is when I see people that are like, I'm not a technology guy. I don't have a smartphone, or I don't, do this
those
or whatever.
Exist.
It's like, and those people exist more than you'd think, right?
I don't think a majority of people exist like that, but a lot do.
Definitely not.
It's a combination of like a generational gap. The extremists are like in the woods. Did you know that there's like 1,100 unaccounted people like since Y2K?
Whoa.
Like they're living in a bunker somewhere post night
completely separated from everything. So like
off the fucking grid.
Yeah, which I get.
How?
I get it. They figure out
you
a way.
You made a phone call anywhere. NSA's got you, boy. No,
yeah, for real, dude. For real.
Get back on your. Sorry, I didn't mean to distract you.
That's totally cool. But it's like the those kinds of people that just kind of refuse technology and refuse the idea and refuse to believe its importance in our society and in the world. At first I'm sympathetic to it. I get it. Like, you know, a lot of people are using the technology for bad, and they're like, you know, they're getting sucked into it, and social media is poisoning their minds and stuff like that, which I believe all to be true. But technology is not going away. It's not ever going away. Like, as people wish it happened. You know, it's like I live in a neighborhood in Chicago where it's like fairly there's a good wealth of hipsters, and so like these hipster kids are just like, you know, I'm not gonna fucking use this shit because it's, you know, whatever. And I'm just like, and I've gotten to the point, honestly, in my life where I'm just like, fine, you're not doing anything but purposefully distancing yourself from the natural progression of human society. You know what I mean? It's like you are now making a choice that you're fastly separating yourself, not fastly, but you're fast separating yourself from the future.
Right. Well,
and
you
so
can argue that a lot of people do this with not even just technology, but with like information, with anything that is uncomfortable. I think honestly that's what it comes down to, because like, I mean, dude, you and me worked in the same place for a long time, and most of the people that were frustrated with technology use were people who adopted it late, or just getting into it, or just like they can't keep up with it because they're so busy in their normal life to not use the technology on a regular basis. But most of the time, it is just an ignorance, or willingly being ignorant to things. And I mean, if you want to talk about this briefly, because McButters asked a really good question that I don't think we actually would need to spend a whole lot of time on. I mean, we could talk about this in a future episode with like the studies that are involved with this, but like since 2012.
Put it in the Discord. Totally, please put it in the Discord. Like,
oh yeah, if you guys want to join the Discord too, like we can elaborate this more. But basically, the whole talk about video games causing violence is just a scapegoat. You're pointing away from what the problem actually is. And
come on, bro.
When you do it, it's one thing to do it once and get corrected by scientific studies, but these studies are well established. They've been publishing them far before 2012 when the major study was done. I'm pretty well read on just I'm not well read, but I have been tracking this for a long period of time, and there's like some arguments people can make, but for the most part, it's a scapegoat to an actual problem, and the problem is like laws around getting weapons and all that other shit. The one thing that's consistent throughout the entire world is video games. The one thing that's inconsistent is gun violence, and we have the highest gun violence in the country. I'm not saying, you know, take away from everybody's, like, take away Gandalf. God. What's up, Gandalf? We're getting raided right now.
Oh, God, of course, right now.
Yeah, Jesus. Always, guys.
Why is it always at the right time?
Yeah, always at the right time. Gandalf, you know? Hi. Cloverstar, hi. Welcome in, everybody. I'll wait for it. Let me know when the commercials are done, when you guys actually get in, because I don't know when the ad stops.
Into the groove, dude. This I guess depending on the repetition of how we do this. Oh, excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Really quick beforehand. Welcome in, everybody. We're nearing the end of the talk show podcast. This is the XP Talk Show with me, KonkyTalks64, and Lee. We do the show, try to do the show every week, every Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. We were talking about Neuralink, the moon landing anniversary, a few just kind of tangents all around. We spent a lot of time talking about like being grateful for our physical bodies and also the mentality behind that. It was a really great conversation. These VODs are always posted as well. Welcome in, everybody. Holy crap.
Yeah, for real. Yeah,
now we're answering questions. So our latest question was, what do we think about the video game violence thing? And in my short answer, I said that you're pointing away from a problem that actually that exists. It's the elephant, or it's not an elephant at this point. It's a fucking rhinoceros banging into everything, and everybody's
big
pointing
boy.
away from it.
Big boy.
So Lee, what were you going to say about video game violence?
No, I think my kind of brief thought about it is just the fact that, like, video games have been around for quite some time at this point. Like, one can argue back in the 80s there was already shoot 'em up'ems games and stuff like that. So the idea of violence coming from video games, yes, is there, and it's like, the brutality, like playing Doom or something like that. It's like bloody and gory and shit, and it's just like, if it really was that big of a problem, like, it would be a bigger problem. If violence in video games was that big of an issue, we would see it more. So I think it's not an argument. And so, like, Steve, to your point, it's like the study after study after study has already happened. So it's like, I think we need to get away from that part of it. Yeah, exactly. Quit avoiding the real issues,
right?
And the stuff that to be false, and really take the action where we know action needs to be taken and hasn't been taken before.
Right.
So it's like what is it? It's like, I forgot. I'm totally botching kind of like the actual phrasing of this, but it's like when you repeat something enough.
Oh, you're talking about the definition of insanity.
Exactly.
Is repeating the same.
Exactly. You repeat the same thing over and over and over, expecting the same result. You're
expecting different results.
You're expecting different results. That's a definition of insanity. So it's the same fucking thing. And it's like, and so it's fascinating to me where it's like, if you're going to look at such a severe issue like gun violence and, the shootings that have been happening and stuff like that, do something else, try another approach to it, which is what's being proposed now, but being refused. And it's like, we don't have to get into the politics of it per se, because, like, I see resolution to it. I see solutions to it from a progressive standpoint, but it's just like the same way. Think about it this way. It's like the same way earlier. I don't know if they're still in here, but what was his nuts that, like, that was saying homo shit or whatever, and, like, really get it not so.
It doesn't matter. Yeah,
it doesn't matter who the person was.
Yeah,
someone came in and then just spouted off some stupid bullshit and, like, tried to throw us off our groove and whatever it is. And so, Steve, the reason why I reacted the way that I was, because I know you wanted to kind of, like, figure that person out. You know what I mean? Which is honorable to do, but at the same time, there's a place where it's like you don't pay attention to it. If you give it a spotlight, then other people will be inspired to do that same thing because they get a spotlight on it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So there's for example, there's a lot of countries, and we're starting to do this ourselves, which is amazing, is the fact that when there's a mass shooting of some kind, they don't say the person's name. They don't give the person any sort of a stage platform to be on.
Yeah.
They don't give them a platform. They're just like, a shooter happened. Let's talk about the victims more. And so that is the idea where it's like any other stupid bullshit that I see, it's like, don't give it a platform. If you argue it, like, a lot of times they win because they're letting it rile you up. So all we can do as a collective society is just, like, literally just focus on the shit that we know is going to make the world a better place. Let it get to that point where we just can stop the bullshit and argument and just be like, if I want people to be healthy, to be smart, and to be, accommodating to other cultures and people, it's like, just do that. Just do that. There is no harm in that.
Right.
And so it's just fascinating to me. So again, with this video game stuff, it's just like, it's not a fucking problem.
Right.
And so don't call it a problem. Don't prove it. Don't even put in the effort of trying to prove it wrong, which I know I'm trying to do, but I'm just trying to make a point here. And
we've already put in the effort to prove
that's what
it
I'm
wrong.
saying.
You know what I mean? Like, it's already been scientifically studied and it's already been talked about. Like, it's the same thing. The same sources that are repeating this. I mean, I'm going to say it's trash. It's just trash information to dissuade people from, like, addressing the real issue.
Right.
I think the biggest, like, opportunity for us is to really remind the people who are, like, in place that we're not going to stay quiet about it. And there was a really great interview on Fox News about that exact thing. This I can't remember his name. Shit, I had it in my head. He came on and did an interview, and he essentially, like, this has already been studied. People who play video games are not more violent. They spend more time playing online with friends. It's not like that person that's by themselves in the basement. They actually have an outlet to, like, hang out with people digitally when they don't have time. And we talk about it all the time on this podcast.
Yeah,
like, the whole, you guys are here.
Yeah.
Engaging in conversation with two individuals. You know what I mean? You may be at home alone, but you're not. You're fucking in a room full of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what's
yeah.
that can't be said and not enter the internet and not go everywhere anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it could be in the newspaper, it could be on, like, online blogs, but now we're at the point where technology and information is spreading so quickly like fire. It's already a meme. I didn't see a single tweet on Twitter that actually believed this was, like, real things. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be if you search, like, hashtag like blame video games or whatever the hashtag was that Fox News was using when they first tweeted that article out. Nobody used that shit. They didn't believe that. You know what I mean? And, like, if
so great.
this happened in the 80s with, like, Marilyn Manson and fucking Doom, like, are you serious? And to be to be frank too, like, I do think that elements of video games and, like, all that shit, it can, with the wrong person, cause some bullshit to happen, but that could be the same with, like, you could say the same thing about psychedelics or drugs or families. Like, there could be that trigger that pushes somebody over the edge, and, like, if that person is properly being taken care of. There was a recent article where, like, this mother took her son to the hospital prior to, like, a event happening, like a shooting happening, and, like, that was talked about briefly. You know what I mean? Like, there are prerequisites. It's like we talk about all the time on here. Yeah, we talked about Neuralink one hand. Speak of the devil, we talked about you as well at the beginning of the talk show, with the nerve pain and stuff from the accident you had. But don't worry, I'll post the VOD so you guys can view it. Yeah,
check it out. Tonight was a gnarly episode, dude.
Yeah. Does anybody have any last questions before we head out and I pass you guys to another fellow awesome person?
Yeah, I think we could take a moment to, like, you know, absorb some of the questions that we have here. I'd hate to cut it off because we kind of gained a little bit more of a bunch of people in here, because, like, I think it's our opportunity to kind of, like, share with you guys, for those of you that just came in. So like this talk show and the show that Steve and I started a number of years back, and it's, like, gotten to this point, is so fast, like, amazing, because, like, every week that we're able to do this show, we were off for a couple weeks for, like, a number of different reasons, but, like, we try to do this show every Thursday, 7:30-ish p.m. Central Standard Time, because it is exactly what the title is anticipated, is, like, sharing experience and sharing like this leveling up perspective where, you know, we share each other's mentality, and, like, we're all so much more connected than we really understand. And if we share these connections, and we're, you know, even just a glimmer of like, oh, I've experienced that too, or, like, I believe that thing too, or just, like, or whatever it is. I got wifey goofing in the background, but you just have this, you like this ability to share these experiences and inspire each other, you know, through the topics that we talk about, which is space and science and philosophy and history and stuff like that,
and our own personal experiences for sure.
Our own personal experiences for sure. And it's like you break the walls down of just, like, who gives a shit about you know, keeping yourself to yourself and, like, having a conversation with somebody, and, like, and stuff like that. So we really built it from that mentality, and it's grown to this point where Steve and I are amazingly good friends after a number of years, brothers, I would say.
And the show occurs offline as well, like, whenever we grab 100%. Beers or hang out. Like, if it's me and Lee hanging out, there's a fucking XP Talk Show happening, and
we're talking all
the whole thing is literally just us sharing our own experiences and information. And in the context of this show, like, that's what this is. Just like Lee said, it's just sharing your experience and expecting nothing other than perspective and additional information for you to go off of. Like, we're not experts or anything. I'm not a scientist. Lee's not a scientist. We're passionate about science and technology and people and life experiences, and that's what this show's all about. So thank you guys for Gandalf, again, thank you so much for being so wonderful and bringing your people over here. I really do appreciate that.
Yeah, but like so kind of while we caught you guys, I think exactly. Yeah, I get anything with ly at the end of the word.
Didn't you have like a mind fuck last episode? It was something like you were talking about like how you were doing something, and it was something like it ended in Lee for both. It was you could either be this, which was positive, or this, which was negative, and I was like, do you realize that it's you that you're talking about? Like positivity? No, it wasn't positively.
Positively or something like that.
Positively, yeah, negatively. I think it was that.
It was like if I want to
positively or negatively, and I was like, wait, are you talking about yourself? Well, shit.
Yeah, that was a super mind fuck because I was just like,
I never thought about those words like that.
Yeah. I talked about myself in the third person. I was just like negative comma Lee or positive comma Lee. Yeah. That was
but you weren't doing that on purpose. You were just talking. Yeah, exactly. Exactly,
like,
Clover. Sorry, you got it. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's so great. But I think, but honestly, for those just showing up on us, you know, we take an opportunity at the end of each show to, you know, open it up to the audience. And if you guys have questions, curiosity, what you know, about really anything that you know may, like quick questions, you know, but if you have kind of those meatier discussion topics, Steve, you had it ready to go, and I love that. Right?
Post it in the Discord.
So if you got those meatier topics that you want us to talk about, and like, because Steve and I are so open to these things, and really, you know, we have our opinions, but they're very open-minded opinions that we want to learn more and really want to discover this kind of stuff. And so, if you guys go into the Discord and you know join the Discord, we have a little channel part that's information and what was it called? Discussion
roles.
Roles, right?
Yeah, so when you guys like first joined the Discord, I wanted to make a Discord where you guys can just share stuff. It's not centered around me. I know that like a lot of Discords are centered around a streamer, and the way I explain the community that we have here, like you guys are an online tribe for me. Like I'm just a shaman in the tribe. You guys are off doing your own thing, and like sometimes you leave the jungle, like leave the tribe, and you come back and you tell me stories and hang out for a bit, and that's totally fine. You know, maybe this was like the one pit stop that you had in your journey that is the whole fucking internet. So I'm just humbled that you guys even gave us your time and were willing to come back into the tribe or even be a permanent member, right, and sub and stuff. Which it doesn't require a sub to be in the KonkyTalks tribe. I know it sounds like really cheesy, but that word is really heavy for me. So as far as the Discord goes, when you guys first get in, ask for a role. If you want to participate in the talk show more, you can ask for a specific role, which is talk show homie. And that will unlock the Discord for the XP Talk Show, where you can submit articles, talk with people about like all the articles that are in place or about the most recent episode. And we also have a feedback section, so you guys can help build the Discord. Like for example, Herbanoid, you know Herbanoid, right? Yeah, so Herbanoid had this really great idea for a lifestyle section for like recipes and stuff. And so I mean, Herbanoid and Schmo Gaming have been around for a long time. I was like, you guys, this is your domain. Like, I don't know how this vision of what you want to do is supposed to be, so I will make you guys mods and you guys can help create this stuff. And that was direct feedback. Like, they'd been in the Discord for a long time. They wanted to make a section. They just didn't know like how to do it, I guess. And then they hashed it out and fucking made a channel. So it's ever evolving. If you guys want to like participate in something as a organism where everybody's kind of like helping as a tribe, right? You can do that in the Discord. So sick. And yes, I am standing up, by the way, Neem.
So like give us some questions, guys, that we have in the chat before we kind of wrap up. But you know, we want to point out the Discord because that's a great avenue for us to, you know, gather information from the community to discuss and talk about if it's you know, space science, you know, philosophy, cultural topics that you want us to talk about and hear our opinions on. Like we are happy and open to it. But we always ended off with like a little Q&A just to hear what you guys' thoughts are. Like, what are you guys thinking? Like in your seats, if you're standing up at your desk, if you're on your phone, commuting, doing whatever or something like that. Like if you guys have some sort of curiosity that's going on around you, I want to have everybody take a moment to like not look at the screen, like not look at your screen that you're looking at us, right? Take a look around you, and if you have a question about something that's around you, like give it to us. Think about it. You know what I mean? So I'll give you an example. So I just got a lot of Star Wars stuff from a friend of mine, and that he was like kind of clearing out, and I got a signed. Check this out. Check this shit out. I got a signed Luke Skywalker plaque.
Amazing.
It's so cool. It's so cool. Signed by Mark.
Did you get that from Brian?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
How sick is this, right? So
That's
it's like
amazing.
a limited edition.
Lee, waffles or pancakes? Waffles.
Waffles or pancakes? Oh shit.
Waffles, bro. I got to get those crispy edges.
Waffles, because you can't do chicken and pancakes.
You could, but it's not as fun.
You could, but it's not as good. But yeah, so I'm looking around my room and I see this and I'm just like, fuck yeah, dude. Mark Hamill at one point
touched that and signed it.
Touched this shit. Man, it's magical. I don't have a question for it, but it's, you see what I mean. So.
But yeah, Neem, I do have a stand desk. Does it have to be science? Can it be law? Yeah, it could be law.
Sure, as long
honestly,
as it's
like if it's something that like I so remember, well, not remember, but just to reiterate, me and Lee are not like scientists or any experts in any shape or form. We just like having discussions and talks. If it has to do with laws or anything, for sure, you could totally do that. The articles are open to whatever.
If you're asking us for legal advice, sorry.
Yeah.
We are not legal professionals and stuff like that. We can have
100%.
opinions on this kind of thing, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, waffle. Don't give that face to waffles, man. A waffle is a soft pillow with cups that hold on to delicious
juice,
syrupy syrup, right? That just puts you on a journey of like, in like when you're playing like Warcraft or something like that, when you like find new pockets of the map.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like you create your base, you kind of build your army and stuff like that, and you find new pockets of the map. That's what eating a waffle's like.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
It's discovery. It's excitement.
Hell yeah. Fucking waffles all day.
Yeah. Inedible Kirby. I love your name.
Yeah, that's good.
Hamburgers or hot dogs?
Dude, Chicago.
Cheeseburger. Cheeseburger.
Hot dog is good, man. Hot dog is good.
But if you're going to choose a cheeseburger or a hot dog, you're going to pick a fucking cheeseburger, bro.
That is hard.
Or, well, I guess a hamburger. If it doesn't have cheese on it, then that would probably be less. I would probably be more leaning towards like a hot dog or hamburger. Like I would be, that line is there, but I'm going to go, if there's cheese on that shit, I'm going hard, dog. Come on, small cheval is like, I say that in my fucking mouth.
Yeah, but you say Portillo's, man.
Yeah.
You say Chicago style hot dog, drag it through the garden.
I don't even get a hot dog at Portillo's.
You're a monster.
I get a roast beef sandwich.
You're full of shit.
I'm not joking. I get spicy.
I love you, but you're full of shit.
I get spicy jardiniere, spicy peppers, and a roast beef sandwich. No.
You get a dip.
Fuck
Why don't you get a dip? What are you talking about?
It turns into a mushy bitch thing. No, it's trash. You might as well eat soup with mostly roast beef in it.
Always dip your sandwiches,
You're
man.
a trash person. I can't legally.
What do you think about another question here? What do you think about going to the moon again? All for it, but with a different purpose. So we obviously know what the moon is like. We already have rocks back on planet Earth that were from the moon, but I'm for using here. Like, I don't want the moon to be like a habitable place. I want it to be a fucking spaceport.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like I want us to be able to go to a launch pad. Yeah, I want us to be able to build some sort of spaceport there, where because some of the most expensive shit to get people to space is getting out of our orbit, like and out of our atmosphere. Right. So if we're able to build like a station on the moon or something like that is strictly for manufacturing and refueling and all this shit, because there's basically no atmosphere. If not, there's no atmosphere on the moon.
Right.
Imagine launching off of that and then just having everything you need. So I say yes, we go to the moon, build a spaceport, and then put a cantina in that spaceport so it could be like Mos Eisley.
Yep. And we serve pizza and tacos.
Fuck yeah, the world's a better place. And chicken and waffles.
Chicken and waffles.
Right? And pepperoni pizza. Only
specifically,
pepperoni pizza.
Only.
Because if you take my pepperoni,
you know what I saw on fucking Twitter today that like kind of pissed me off, but just because I was like caught up in it, somebody called the crust of pizza the brim. Like, what are you doing?
That's fucking stupid. Don't read. You don't need to reinvent pizza. You don't need to
Stop it. It's not a brim. It's a fucking. It's crust.
Because it's called the crust. There's no different definition of it. You know.
Yeah.
A Coney dog beats a burger. I would argue a Chicago dog beats a Coney dog. Real talk. Sorry.
Honestly, Chicago hot dog in its most traditional sense is mostly other things and just a little bit of meat.
Detroit style Coney dog. Detroit style pizza. Steve and I know that very well.
Especially with that Asiago crispy cheese as crust, bro. Oh my god.
Oh god, yeah.
If you need legal advice, I can help. I just can't represent you in court and be an acting lawyer. I do offer legal services on Fiverr, but I'm not sure if you're familiar with Fiverr.
Is this an advertisement for your legal advice here?
No, I think
are you trying to like plug your legal?
That's interesting. I didn't know you could for Fiverr like ask me one legal question. Bro, hot dogs and tinfoil wrap hits different. I'm sure it does. Just like smoking crack out of that or weed in tinfoil is better than glass pipe. But I'm not gonna do it.
Not from personal experience here that we're talking, you know. The moon can't be a launch pad or national defense projects, though.
I mean,
so it can't.
There's no rules in space.
There aren't any rules in space, but there unfortunately politically has to. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because like you can't. No one. It's not property of any one country.
I feel like if anybody does anything there, like we've already did kind of like the outline, just scary experimental shit. Not to say that more stuff that can't happen like that, but if it does happen, you're more on like the line of Dr. Evil sort of thing. Like if you're planning to do some like crazy shit in space, you're probably like the opposite of Elon Musk and just trying to like do some destruction.
I think just simply put, once we come to collectively as a planet, like our space programs become one.
Right.
We become a unified global space program.
Well, dude, once we all get Neuralinks installed, we'll be able to understand each other finally.
Oh my gosh. If I like the Neuralink little thing, you plug in and I'm just like, learn Spanish.
Yeah, exactly. Learn skills, operate computer.
One day, dude. One day.
Neem, we do allow links, but only for people who are subbed. Yeah. I'm sorry, bud. You can always DM it or post it in the Discord, though, if it's relevant to like what you want to talk about.
You want to share that stuff? Put it in the Discord, bro.
Any other last questions before we're done? Because we're going to wrap up here, and I'm going to bring you guys over to somebody to hang out with.
This is the longest I think we've gone on the show.
No, it's not.
Really?
Yeah, the longest we've gone is till like 10:30.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Tonight was a good episode. Tonight was a great episode. Like recapping those, like as the questions roll in and stuff like that. Recapping the episode tonight. Steve and I started off just talking about our last couple weeks because we've been off. Steve had some unfortunate health issues that are now resolved, thankfully enough.
Mostly.
Which then kind of led us into a discussion of body health and body, and like talking about your physicality and the importance of you being the pilot of your own body and making sure that you're taking care of it. We talked about the Elon Musk's Neuralink. Right. Which is basically a supercomputer that's hooked up to your brain to like make you process and learn things like you've never had done before, which is science fiction.
Well, that's the end thing, but like it's supposed to help people with neurological disorders and paraplegics first.
That's the first. It's gonna, sure, Steve. That's
once it's installed. Once it's like, I got my appointment for this Saturday, gonna learn Spanish.
Oh God, yeah, I can't wait.
I would love that. Download me a voice pack or whatever. Can you imagine being like a beatboxer?
Yeah.
Like downloading sound packs
offline. Your own Duolingo app or whatever.
Yeah. I am Duolingo.
Yeah. You don't need to pay for any services.
Yeah. Whoa, I know Kung Fu.
So we talked about Neuralink. We talked about kind of like the learning brain and stuff.
Spring or fall?
What's that?
Spring or fall, if you had to pick.
Fall, dude, all day.
We don't even have fall. We also don't have spring. We just go into summer and winter, bro.
It kind of blended for a little while, yeah. But I would prefer fall because it's cooler. Yeah, I love being a sweaty boy. I love the magical relief of it being cooler outside.
It makes me anytime somebody says sweaty boy or like anything with like a. I like. Did you ever see that song? It's like a meme right now. It's like I like sweaty boys, beardy boys, weird hat wearing boys. Backwards hat wearing boys. It's just like 5 things you say about like boys that you like, and then like fucking music kicks in and shit. I'll send you something.
Please send me that.
All right, guys. We're gonna wrap up here. Lee, any ending notes that you'd like to give the audience, some XP before you head out?
I think if anything, it's like, dude, I say it all the time, but it's like this show is wonderfully therapeutic, and it's like, and it gives us an opportunity to connect. It gives us an opportunity to talk about things and be passionate and be inspiring as much as we can. And like, the more people that join us into this conversation, I think it's just like incredible. All the people that have stuck with us for a number, basically a few years at this point, like that have just consistently stuck with us and watched the show, and they enjoy it so much that they want to come back, is just the most humbling feeling. So I urge you guys, like, even in the slight bit, if you caught like just a little bit of the show, just give us the feedback. We always appreciate it, and we always enjoy doing this show and making it more and better and more often and stuff like that. Steve does the Exp Talk Show throughout the week in some cases, so he'll have like different guests on and stuff like that. But like I love doing this, man. And in this very moment, I'll give you an example. In this very moment, I feel like I'm on autopilot and my brain's doing all the talking. Like, it's just like 100% brain. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just I get to have an opportunity to just take everything that's in my brain, talk about it unfiltered, and just like fucking go for it. So I think it's great, and I encourage other people to like to connect with with like-minded people to your own, and share experiences with other people like that, and reconnect with old friends that you did share experiences with, and just kickstart your the excitement in life in that regard. And it's a lot easier than people make it out to be. So I think dive in, man. Dive into the pool of life, dude. Fuck.
Hell yeah. That's great.
So, yeah.
Neem, just to like address something, I can see, I don't know if it is portraying frustration, but I'd like to address this really quick because I want to speak on this. I understand like having money is really tough, especially in the world that we live in. Working paycheck to paycheck is tough. I don't expect anybody to sub. If you'd like to post a link, like, you can always whisper it to me, or again, like, you can post it in the Discord. The incentive for posting links is not a sub. Like, it's more of like a barrier to entry for anybody who could enter the chat. So maybe like people who are subbed, like, I think about it like this, and I know it's easy to go down the default mental pathway of this person is an asshole because they want you to pay money to post a link. I'm doing it as a form of protection, because anybody who's posting a link, if they're not subbed, it just wipes it out so nobody can click, all that fun stuff. So it is in no way to like stop to get more money out of you. I have a full-time job. Half the money we make on Twitch goes to MAPS, the Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies, that is curing PTSD with MDMA assisted psychotherapy. He knows. I don't, the money that I take from the stream is really just for the internet bill. Everything else is going towards MAPS. Yeah, so if you'd like to post anything, Discord's open to everybody, homie. Yeah, it's not even centered around me, so don't even
think about it. Think about it this way. Sorry to jump in here, but like the posting of a link in the Discord is I feel a more valuable option because it stays there, and it has the ability for people to revisit it.
Yeah, this is like, you can revisit chat, but you have to watch the VOD, and that's kind of weird. So like, if you'd like to do it, yeah,
it's not as easy. So
wait, I'm not a doctor. What are you talking about? I'm a doctor, not a pool man. That's what I thought of anyway. Wait, how am I a doctor?
Fucking Jim Carrey,
I'm not a doctor. So we're gonna pass this off again, you guys. This is the XP Talk Show. Sick, we do the show every week. Tomorrow we've got a very special guest joining us, Luxy Games. She's gonna share her life experience with us, talk about her upbringing. We're gonna share life experience, all that shit. It's gonna be really cool. I'm really excited about that conversation. I asked only for 30 minutes of her time, because I like to do like the prerequisite show, before like we even do an episode, kind of like how you and me meet for a brief period before we get started. Yeah. And I only asked for 30 minutes, and we talked for an hour and a half, and it was like effortless. So It's going to be a really great episode. I think everybody will really enjoy it. Please come back tomorrow if you want to check it out. Keep an eye out on Twitter as well. If you guys want to follow me, you can get updates on the stream. I post pictures of my lovely wife and what I'm doing and all that fun shit. Yeah, so feel free.
Dude, you said wife.
Yeah.
How fucking weird is that?
It's not.
Ooh.
But I also, like, sometimes I'm
weird.
like,
Yeah,
we're
just
hanging
like...
out, and I'm like, you're my wife. And she's like, what? Shut up. And she
Yeah,
smacks
dude.
my arm, and she's like all cute about
great.
it. Yeah, so...
Great.
Yeah, it's if you guys want to keep up, I do post very seldomly. I mostly respond and hang out. So yeah. If you guys need anything, right there, DMs are open. I'll be in the Discord. If you ever see me in the voice channels on Discord, feel free to jump in and have a conversation with me if you like. It's always awkward at first getting to know people, but I don't really mind that whole awkwardness. It's just, you know, hey, it's my first time meeting you, so no worries. Yeah. We are going to pass it off to Topher Cakes. Topher he's a really great broadcaster. I don't know how to explain it other than that. He's really great at conversation. He's just a good, genuine person. He's playing Fallout 3 right now, one of my favorite games. I'm sure a lot of you guys love that game as well. As far as the link goes, like, I want you guys to know this too. If a raid ever comes in, if you don't refresh the browser or like click the link to remove the refer raid, it actually doesn't count you as a user. So make sure you guys go to the link directly. And the raid message, the raid message is, there's a lot of hunks in here. If you guys are subbed anywhere or you want to use your free emotes, by all means, copy there's a lot of hunks in here, add your own thing. If you're subbed to my channel, if you want to use my emotes, you're more than welcome to. It's not mandatory. I'd rather you guys do whatever makes you feel comfortable, okay? But as far as, you know, what to expect from here, expect great. So when I type raid, Neem, it pops up in the chat. I need to work on the commands in here so everything looks a little bit smoother. I do know that. So it's just this is how we have it set up. If you do !raid, it like gives you a raid message. So you guys will check us out tomorrow. We'll be live on Saturday with some Metal Wolf Chaos for Saturday morning cartoons. If you guys need anything, feel free to jump in the Discord, DM, message, whatever you need to. If you see me online, sometimes I got my activity on so that you guys can see where I'm coming from or where I'm hanging out in. That way you guys can like follow me online, send me a friend request on Twitch and shit if you want.
Smash that like button, dude.
Assault my like button. Don't assault it.
That's as best as I got. That's
Yeah,
as best as
all
I
right.
got.
We'll see you guys later. Thank you so much,
yeah.
Lee.
Thanks, guys.
Come on, give him a smooch for the
Guys.
goodbyes. Mwah. Thank you guys so much. I will catch you guys later. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Mwah.
Killer fucking show, dude.
Wait a minute. I remember this.